Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to show you how to make a seam ripper kit. Now seam rippers are a very easy project, and they make a really nice gift, or if you're doing craft shows, they sell really well at a variety of places. You can see here, this is a double-ended, it's got a stiletto and a ripper on the other end. And these kits actually do come with a pocket clip, but personally I rarely use them. So out of the entire kit I'll use the tube and the two ends, and that's it. I don't use the clip. Now you can do that. It is a nice feature if you don't want it to roll around or if you are carrying it in your pocket, but for the most part this is what I like. So I'm turning on the Laguna 1216. It's the new mini lathe from Laguna. I'm using a mandrel because these are mandrel bushings, and I've got my blank mounted up here. This is a stabilized cottonwood and it has a real nice look to it. I did go ahead and test our new artisan dies to see how that looked, and after I turn it I'm going to decide. I may want to dye it, but I may not, so we'll see how that goes. I'm using two tools today. They're the mini carbide by Easy Wood Tools. I'm using the square with a radius tip and the round one, which is the shaper or detailer, however you want to call it. And what I'm going to do is just basically rough this down to round. And with a seam ripper, I like to get it round and then kind of decide my shape. Whereas a pen, you would be turning down to the bushings. This one, I like to leave a little more shape to it. I don't normally do that with pens, make pregnant pens, but with the seam rippers, having a little bit of grip or a little bit of shape makes them more attractive. And if I wasn't talking, I would wear a mask for the chips. So when I'm turning these, I like to come in at an angle on the ends, and that just gives me a point of where I know it's round, and then I can kind of tailor the rest of the body to that. So that's why I come in on the ends like that. But with the radius bit, the radius insert, you can kind of shape it as you go. So you know it's starting to get round, your tool will move a little smoother and your chips will get a little longer. So from going from dust when it's first cutting to more of a shaving. And now I can begin to shape it, give it a little more texture with my round tool. That's a good finger grip size there. And what I'm going to do is just kind of take off all the edges. The nice thing is I don't really like this little one on the end here. So I'm kind of just going to eliminate it. And I'm just going to take that down and make it flow. So if you make good smooth cuts, you're going to sand a lot less. This one, I think I can start with about... I'm just actually going to use 400 Abernet and show you how it comes out. I'm going to touch up this front end just a little bit. And just bring that down a little bit. It's a little bulbous. And maybe right here. Just to make it smoother, a little more comfortable. All right, now this is pretty smooth coming off of there. Being stabilized wood, it works pretty nicely. I'm gonna just kind of check for some rough spots here. It is a little more difficult to get into the cuts when you have these highs and lows, but it works pretty good. Nice thing about the Abernet is you can kind of shape it to your piece. So I had thought about dyeing it. Cameraman, dye or no dye?
Yes.
Dye? Okay, we're gonna dye it. So I don't know how this is gonna come out.
It's really pretty, but dye.
The nice part is if it doesn't look good, Carrie is to blame because Carrie is videoing and she said to dye. So I'm putting on gloves because inevitably I will dye my fingers. I'm gonna turn this way down. Way down. So I'm using the artisan dye that we have here in the shop. Now this will be tricky to get. I'm gonna just drip it in there. Those highs and lows. Can't really get my paper towel smooth. I'm just kind of making sure I don't have any excess on there. And let's take a look. Looks pretty cool. Now I am still gonna put a finish over top of this. I'm actually gonna, you can see those cool curls in it. I'm gonna heat this up a little bit by giving it just a little more speed. And I'm just gonna put a finish right over top of it. And I'm just going to use Pens Plus on this. I like using the Pens Plus finish because it holds up well on pens, and this is kind of a similar thing. It's going to be held a lot, so it makes sense. Now I'm going to get some dye mixing into the finish on the paper towel because I haven't let this dry very long, but that's okay for demonstration purposes. But you can see the shine building up already. And I like to get the Pens Plus warm. So I'm going to warm it up here with friction. Flip it around. We'll do one more little light coat. And you can see that looks pretty sweet. Pretty cool. Carrie, are you glad we dyed it?
Yes, it's beautiful.
So that is basically it for the seam ripper. I'm not going to take this off right now. I'm going to let it sit a little bit. I may put one more coat of the Pens Plus on it just to build up a little more of that polish on the outside. And then it is done. Essentially, when I pull this off of here, I just stick the seam ripper parts in. And that is all there is to assembly because these are just press-in parts so you can remove them and use them and then put them back. So a seam ripper is a really easy kit to make. Takes just a few minutes. You can do all kinds of cool shapes. You can use different woods, acrylics, dyes, no dyes. So sky's the limit. Great gifts, great sellers at craft shows. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it and put a thumbs up. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Thank you.